delivering value through authentic interpretation of global literary works. Hey, this is Sally's Book Club. Today we're exploring Henry Kissinger's seminal work, Diplomacy. Some might ask, how does diplomacy concern ordinary citizens? Take the 1985 Plaza Accord between the US and Japan as example. Pressured by American diplomacy, Japan agreed to yen appreciation that eroded industrial competitiveness and burst economic bubbles. The aftermath left lasting economic scars. Statistics show this diplomatic setback caused massive losses across Japanese society. Annual losses averaged millions per household, with ginza, property values, at quarter of peak levels. Economic gloom left many men avoiding relationships and social commitments. Some withdrew completely from active life. This demonstrates how citizens' lives intertwine with national diplomacy. So, what books help lay people understand diplomatic affairs? Kissinger's Diplomacy offers essential historical perspective. Kissinger remains a respected figure in Sino-American relations. As Nixon's Secretary of State and National Security Advisor, he engineered the normalization of U.S.-China relations in the 1970s. His handshake with Mao Zedong in Zhongnanhai remains iconic in diplomatic history. Even today, Kissinger remains influential in Washington's foreign policy circles. Diplomacy synthesizes Kissinger's practical experience and theoretical insights. Kissinger traces modern state systems to mid-17th century Europe. And this era birthed contemporary international diplomacy. For centuries distilled four cardinal diplomatic principles: primacy of national interest, balance of power, great power coordination, and collective security. The paramount principle remains national interest. Others serve as its derivatives. Let's examine the historical roots of these principles one by one. First is Kissinger's primary modern diplomatic principle: primacy of national interest. The primacy of national interest emerged from the 30 Years' War. This pan-European conflict lasting from 1618 to 1648 became a watershed moment. Pre-164-8, Europe lacked modern nation-state concepts, let alone national interest prioritization. European disputes then centered on Christian religious affairs and aristocratic family matters. All resolution methods differed completely from modern interstate diplomacy. Post-war Europe embraced state sovereignty, making national interest the diplomatic priority over religion or nobility. The war's catalyst was a 1618 religious political clash in Prague. Bohemia, under Habsburg rule, Europe's most prestigious dynasty, controlling Holy Roman Empire territories. Habsburg ambitions for Central European dominance clashed with 17th century religious divisions. Protestant Reformation created religious political fractures beyond papal control. European nobility aligned with Catholic or Protestant factions, dividing the continent. This religious schism inevitably affected Habsburg territories. Catholic Habsburg rulers clashed with Protestant Bohemian subjects. Political and religious tensions became fatally intertwined. In 1618, enraged Bohemians defenestrated Habsburg officials from Prague castle windows. This became the famous defenestration of Prague. The incident triggered Habsburg retaliation, drawing aligned states into expanding warfare. European nations aligned by ideology, joining respective religious blocs, igniting continent-wide religious warfare. France, Europe's second power after Habsburgs, made an unexpected strategic choice. Catholic France surprisingly allied with Protestant forces against Habsburg co-religionists. To defeat Habsburgs, France even allied with Islamic Ottoman Empire against Catholic brethren. This unorthodox strategy shocked contemporary observers. Cardinal Richelieu, despite being Catholic prelate, prioritized French national interest above religious allegiance. Richelieu perceived Habsburg dominance threatening French sovereignty across Europe. This implied potential future Habsburg conquest of France. The anti-Habsburg War presented perfect opportunity to weaken the dynasty. Richelieu transformed religious conflict into national interest-driven warfare. His pragmatic approach ultimately proved successful. By war's end, France eclipsed Habsburgs as European hegemon. The 1648 Peace of Westphalia concluded this prolonged conflict. State sovereignty became sacrosanct principle recognized by European powers. Modern diplomacy emerged with national interest, superseding religious morality. French ascendancy cemented national interest primacy. This also catalyzed diplomacy's second principle, balance of power. Austriacally, France saw Louis XIV's expansionist campaigns. France's dominance peaked under Louis XIV, the Sun King. Resurgent Habsburgs halted Ottoman advance at 1683 Vienna siege, reclaiming prestige. Christian fervor resurged across Europe, transcending national boundaries. Even French Catholic soldiers volunteered for Habsburg's crusade, alarming Louis XIV. In 1688, France invaded Habsburg territories to curb their resurgence. European powers trembled before the Sun King's expansionist ambitions. Confronting France's insatiable appetite, nations set aside religious differences. Catholic and Protestant states united with Habsburgs against France. Britain played pivotal role in the anti-French coalition. King William III feared British isolation against French continental hegemony. Britain committed national resources to counter France while funding allies. The coalition sought continental equilibrium through balanced powers. 9 years of war finally checked Louis XIV's expansion. Balance of power meant Britain counter-rated dominant forces like scale calibration. This principle triggered Europe's diplomatic revolution. 1740. Habsburg Emperor Charles VI died without male heir. His daughter Maria Theresa's succession violated male-only inheritance norms. Habsburg vassals revolted against female rulership. Prussia seized industrial regions while France allied against Habsburgs. Britain allied with Habsburgs per balance of power doctrine during 8-year conflict. The shifting power dynamics quietly influenced French strategic calculations. France began perceiving Prussia as greater threat than Habsburgs. France allied with former arch-enemy Habsburgs against former ally Prussia. Britain shifted allegiance to Prussia while Habsburgs allied with France, upending century-old alliances. This diplomatic revolution exemplified balance of power politics, becoming foundational diplomatic principle. Anglo-French rivalry replaced Habsburg conflicts as Second Hundred Years' War, 1689 to 1815, and war expanded from Europe to Anglo-French colonies worldwide. Our image defeats fueled revolution narration. Napoleonic Empire exported revolutionary ideals through conquests. British PM Pitt revived balance of power strategy through 7 anti-French coalitions, ultimately defeating Napoleon.